Riverdale. Huh. So fun fact, in the 1600s there was this German alchemist named Hennig Brand, and he spent almost his entire adult life trying to turn urine into gold. And I'll tell you, after making dozens of videos about 3.5 seasons of Riverdale so far, I know exactly what that feels like. But anyway, so now that we finally moved on to the second half of season 4, let's check in with Archie. But before that, really quick, I just want to let you all know that I have an official merch store. I've teamed up with T-Mail to give you all some brand new exclusive prints, and they're all available right now. Link is down below in the description. Now I'm going with T-Mail because they use all organic, sustainable cotton, all made in a renewable energy factory. In fact, the whole logistical supply chain is laid out on their website, so if you're interested, check that out. But all the same, brand new merch available right now. Okay, back to the show. Just a quick recap. Archie beat up Dodger, and that whole storyline's over, for now at least, because, you know, everybody comes back eventually. And after that, one day, Archie's long-lost uncle just showed up out of nowhere, and that was the mid-season finale. Which brings us to today.
Spirit Week had arrived at Riverdale High. And for the first time in years, the students actually had something to celebrate. The long-suffering Bulldogs, in large part thanks to breakout star Monroe Moore, were finally going to the state finals.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. Apparently, Archie's been playing football this whole time, between, like, being Batman and running a boxing gym, and also not playing football. But anyway, so the big game's coming up, and wouldn't you know, they have to play against Stonewall Prep, which is where Jughead goes to school, in case you forgot. And something about Stonewall that should come as a surprise to literally no one is they always play dirty.
The Stonewall lineman broke my arm while I was in the pile.
Definitely on purpose. The hit came out of nowhere. After the whistle.
They pay off the refs to look the other way.
This is huge.
The worse the injury?
Yeah.
The bigger the bounty.
I'm sorry, did you just say bounty?
The Stonewall coach pays his players to hurt the other team.
And so the night before the game, they go over to Archie's gym dressed in rabbit masks, naturally, to beat up Mad Dog so he can't play in the game the next day. So in retaliation, the Bulldogs go to Stonewall Prep, just right there in the middle of the day, and then everyone's all like, And while the whole football thing is going on, we also learn a little bit more about Archie's uncle, Frank, and how he's one of them grifter-drifter ne'er-do-wells, and Archie's mom's not really a big fan.
Your Uncle Frank is your classic ne'er-do-well. The straw that broke the camel's back was when your father took the blame for Frank's DUI.
What?
Your father wasn't behind the wheel that night. After Frank went on a bender, he crashed our car into a telephone pole in Sycamore.
Now, over the next couple episodes, Archie's uncle starts getting into some trouble when one of his old army buddies shows up and tries to kill him because, shockingly, they both have a dark secret.
After the war, I was hard up. Ted reached out and he told me about this security gig. Paid well, hired vets, no questions asked. The thing is, it was a private paramilitary contractor and they sent us all over the world as mercenaries. My guess is the company's tying up loose ends.
And so, long story short, Frank ends up running away to Canada, and this whole plot thread has nothing to do with anything. So, thanks, Riverdale. Anyway, let's move on to Jughead for a second. So as per the mid-season finale, Jughead is now in the Skull and Quill Club, and they keep having these like secret little get-togethers where they braid each other's hair and write the name of their crush in their notebooks next to their own name, just to see how it looks together, you know what I mean?
Well, what exactly are we doing?
Final part of your initiation, where we really get to know you.
When you tell us your deepest, darkest secret.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And we are recording this for the archives.
You know, this is a really common thing you see with these kinds of like secret clubs or cults or whatever, like the farm last year, how they make you share your darkest secret and then they use that to blackmail you to make you stay or whatever. But I feel like I'd be kind of immune to that whole scheme, because it'd just be like, oh, I don't think leaving's such a good idea, Alex. Unless you want your family to know about your little secret. Oh, that old thing? Trust me, I've lowered the bar so far down to this point, they're happy if I just leave the house once in a while. Anyway, so later on, Jughead has to come up with some ideas for the new book in the series that he's now the ghostwriter for, but he can't really think of anything good enough, and that's when he pulls out his last resort.
What about a dark and ominous force that threatens the town of Seaport? An obsessed killer who is looking to expose the hypocrisy and sins of his neighbors. The Baxter brothers discovered that the man unleashing his righteous rage is the father of Bobby Baxter's girlfriend, Tracy True.
This sounds promising.
Now, of course, he doesn't want to actually write this because it might be a little tacky to use your girlfriend's most traumatic life experience as a fun mystery novel. You know, kind of like those storytime YouTubers who share just a little too much. But wouldn't you know, that Brett guy from Jughead's class tells Betty about it anyway, everyone gets upset, and Jughead challenges Brett to a duel, of all things, which includes fencing, a bare-knuckle brawl, and for the finale, they play chess. Which, I mean, hey, you know, at least it's not two soccer moms fighting with Ninja Sai again, because that was peak Riverdale, I tell you what.
Wait, no, that allows me to put you in...
Checkmate, yeah.
Why?
Because I'm done playing this game, Brett. Brett wins this duel. You are more of a Stonewall man than I will ever be. Let's blow this place.
Now, speaking of Betty, Betty's writing an article in the school paper about the football game between Riverdale High and Stonewall Prep. And this leads her to start investigating that Brett guy who, I just gotta say it, has gotta be the most perfectly cast new character this season. I mean, this guy was born to play this role, you know what I'm saying?
I heard your article got killed.
Just take the win, Brett.
That's exactly what we did today, Jones. We took the win.
Actually, my article wasn't killed, Brett. I only just started digging, so who knows what I'll find.
I'll see you in class, Forsyth.
Anyway, so Betty does some digging and finds out that Brett is the leader of the Skull and Quill, the head football guy, the captain of the quiz team, and probably has at least 3 fursuits, because I mean, come on. Now, as she starts to go deeper into the mysteries of Stonewall, her findings lead her back to Jughead's now deceased teacher, Mr. Chipping. So Betty breaks into the Skull and Quill hangout room and finds the confession tape of that girl who was doing the old Devil's Tango with Mr. Chipping, and that's when we start to learn the truth.
I didn't want anybody to get into trouble, so I tried to break it off with him. I'd never seen Mr. Cotter so mad.
Who's Mr. Cotter?
Based on my research, no one. He doesn't exist.
Meaning?
She's lying. This is a rehearsed speech Donna has given at least twice.
That's right, everybody. If there's one thing I can tell you about Riverdale, it's that nothing means anything until something does. So leaving that there, just for the heck of it, let's see what Cheryl's getting up to these days. I mean, come on, it can't be any worse than last time.
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mom.
Huh? Okay, well, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. And, you know who we haven't heard from in a while? Is Kevin. Let's see what Kevin's getting up to.
Have you ever videotaped yourself getting tickled?
And finally, let's check in with Veronica. So to get back at her dad, who she apparently has the hots for, okay, so what kind of show is this supposed to be? Veronica starts her own rum business, as any high school girl would, I mean, some girls steal from Claire's, and then some girls have a rum distillery in their secret underground speakeasy. I mean, we all got that one friend, But there's just one little big problem.
You are hereby served with a cease and desist order due to patent infringement. I had my chemist compare your concoction to Lodge rum, and while you've embellished the recipe I own with all those spices, the core remains the same, which means if you make another bottle, I will sue you and shut this whole operation down.
So because her dad's gonna sue her if she keeps using his recipe, Veronica's about to close up shop. But that's when she gets an idea of how to get around this from Cheryl, of all people, who, lucky for us, is not wearing a gas mask today or doing whatever this is supposed to be.
Yum. What is this delightsome elixir?
It's my rum, mixed with your maple syrup.
Tastes like breakfast on the beach.
No, Cheryl. It tastes like money.
Well, you know what money tastes like? 1,000 people's fingers. Anyway, so after this, under the pretense of having a college interview, but really it's just so she can promote the new Riverdale spin-off show, Veronica goes to New York City and visits her friend Katie Keene.
If it isn't Katie Keene! Hi! Oh, so good to see you. It has been way too long, girl. I know something that is going to make you even happier. I hear that the new Pro-Incest Schooler collection on the 4th floor is to die for. Can't wait.
And that's where Riverdale Season 4 is at the moment. Something I think is interesting that they're kind of leading to in this season, besides the flash forwards about how Jughead's dead, allegedly, is how this being everyone's senior year, they're all like going off to different schools or whatever next year. And with Riverdale being renewed for Season 5, I kind of wonder how they're going to do that, unless they're just going to stick with the same format as this season and like everyone's just going to have their own random adventures or whatever. I guess we'll find out eventually. It's actually kind of hard to believe that we're already halfway through the season. I don't know, it feels like it just started. I guess it's really just kind of hard to believe because, so far, nothing's happened in the show. In the first 3 seasons, by now, it would have been some big reveal or something, major would have happened, I guess. But in this season, nothing happens. I mean, in Riverdale, a lot of nothing happens, but this time especially, nothing is happening. It's just these characters are just kind of going through the same type of problems and plot threads that that they've been going through like the entire show. And like near the beginning of this season, it was all about like surprise siblings, right? It was all like half sisters, half brothers, uncles, cousins, twins, whatever it is. You know, it's just like knew everything was coming out. And then just a couple episodes later, they all disappeared. Like what was the point of any of this? Like in season 3, Betty's secret half-brother Charles showing up was like a big deal. He was kind of around for a little bit, but now he just kind of shows up whenever. And near the beginning of season 4, they planted this seed about Charles and Chick are actually working together in some way. Obviously, I'm sure it's going to come out near the end of the season, but it's like they planted this seed and then that just goes nowhere for a while. Or then, of course, Veronica's half-sister who showed up for 2 episodes or 2.5 episodes and then just went back to Miami and did nothing, accomplished nothing, was here for no reason. And now in these last few episodes, it was Archie's uncle Frank who shows up and it's like, oh, I'm your dad's brother, okay. And then a couple episodes later, he just leaves and goes to Canada. Accomplished nothing, no reason he was there. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any videos from me. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know what was your favorite part of the video or what video I should do next, or just say hi. That's fine too. Follow my dog Charlie on Instagram, Charlie Meets Pumpkin. Check out my new merch store, guys. Link down below. And above all else, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.